Hello, I am kind of excited because I'm finally will be talking about a playthrough of a solo RPG play by actually journaling. So let's just get started. So this is basically an example of how I play. For this game in particular, I might be talking about when I play a different game, I might have a different approach. But this is an example based on my experiences. So this is Fox Curio's floating bookshop, a year upon a river. And you are basically an animal, and this is a world with animal folk, where you all live in a big river with different towns. Each of them have their own things you can buy, things you can do, activities, but it's also very reliant on the seasons. There are 5 seasons, and it's somewhat similar to ours, but it you can really tell that they have different types of. They really thought about how their world works, and I really love it. So let's just get started. So basically what I have is 2 journals. Last time I said I would be using 2 journals, and I can show you basically 2 ways of playing this game, because why not? It's by accident, because I had a system where I put in data on on one side of the page, and I journaled the other side of the page, but I decided to do it separately. And as a result, I accidentally made 2 types of ways of playing the game. So what you'll need is dice, 1d20 and 1d6. Let me just, yeah. And I have this little cute capybara back, and this is my cards, my Van Gogh cards. Without the joker, we don't need the joker. I'm not playing right now, so I will keep it. I will keep it in. So I can just show you what you need, you know. Then I have, you know, my pen. I used my pen for both of these journals. It saves the hassle. I have this little thing. I forgot the English name. A ruler. A ruler, right. I have highlighters, some stickers, a little companion, a capybara companion. I have a few of them. I often pick one, maybe as a reference, maybe just to hang out with me. But you can pick an animal to play, and I picked a capybara. And I also made a little reference book for myself. It's a bit unclear to read, so I might need to do it again. But basically it has the pages that this book has, but it's a quick reference to use. So it's easy to, but I barely need it because I use these markers, these book markers. And it's easy for me to just simply hop, go here. And so it in the end I didn't really need it, but it's an idea. If you want to make it easier for yourself, make one of your own. Make your own zine and your little booklet and just go at it. So I put this a little bit on the side so we have more space. Yeah, so should I put it back? No, I won't put all of them back, but the cards at least. So let's just show you one book. Should I show you this first or this first? I'm not sure. So this is a Hobonichi journal, and it's on landscape because I haven't seen these types of books before from Hobonichi, at least not the stores where I buy them usually. And normally they are A5, but in this way instead of this way. Nobody cares. But I really like this book. I really like this type of journal. It has a lot of pages. It's very thin, etc. etc. I'm not an ad. So this is the index. It's very empty right now, but basically my point, what I wanted to do is keep it at one page so that I can refer to the different types of games I will be playing on the journal itself. So I won't be using only on Fox Curio's floating bookshop at in one journal because there's so many pages and I tend to get bored after a while, so I feel the need to do something else. Can you see everything? I think so. I think so. So this is my little character. The name is Kari, a young capybara. The book will help you create a character and basically it aids you to find what suits you, or you can throw dice. Should we check it out? Making a character. Yeah, so how did you come by the bookshop? What are books to you? You know. And the bookshop itself also has their own choices to their own prompts to go through. So it was very easy for me to just write down some characteristics about the shop and about me, the character that I'm playing. And you get the bookshop. So the bookshop floor plan, you get the floor plan and you get the furniture, and you can order it. You can organize it for yourself. And what I did is print out these pages for myself and then organize them and color them in. So that's very fun. I really enjoyed this part. It's cute. I'm not sure what this is exactly. So let me show you. So this, I'm not sure that this is, so I will assume it's a suitcase or something, and I put it next to my bed. If it doesn't make sense, my apologies for that. So should I just share some things? This character ends up buying bookshop because it reminds them of the memories they had since their childhood, because books are their friends. It always takes them away on adventures. And before they bought a store, they were a traveler, they explored different cultures, and by settling down for a year or two before they move on. And that makes sense for me because this book is basically built to play in in-game year. If this character settles down for a year or maybe two, it makes sense. But if I decided to get out earlier or just keep it longer, that's a possibility as well. And the book is basically has some quirks. When you paddle it around the raft drifts ever so slightly to the right. The front door jams in cold weather. I also add some things, so it's not only just the prompts. I can add a little things. I did a little variation that suits my needs and my preferences. It adds the prompts itself. It can feel tedious for some people, but it adds some lore to your character and where you are in, and you can use this as a reference if you were to make your world building a bit larger or want to add more detail. I haven't used this for now. I have played 10 days, by the way, and I wanted to show you the beginning. So what I've done here is print out the map of the river itself. Can I show you how it looks here? So this is how it looks like, and I printed out in a smaller version. I also added the distances because when you travel around, the distance between Thistledown, for example, Thistledown and Woodbury, it's 1 day. And some places will take 2 days or multiple days. And if you go upstream, it will add another day. So I thought it was important enough to add it for myself to use as a reference so that I don't need to go to the book every time. I also put in the season, and that's bloom right now. This is the big version. I put in some details, not everything that's put in here, but you have some types and some details that are added. So the season has some extra detail about the season. It has the names of the weeks, so you can also add some context that is relevant to that week, like bird song. Maybe you'll hear a lot of song, a lot of singing. Then an extra details that adds to the lore. The weather table is something that I really use every day. I think it's fun because it depends how many customers you have, but it depends on the season, what the weather will be. And so it's relevant to the season when it's more common. In this case, it's a lot of rain, but it's also sometimes sunny days. But it's a bit rare to have just a warm day. And then you have the daily tasks. And so the daily tasks are something you start with the day with. And the daily tasks is also relevant to the season itself. So you get a lot of prompts because each season will have a different prompt for the things you can do every day. And you can pick out of 20. It's enough to do. And at the end of the day, the earnings, the book sold, restocking, you throw dice. Basically, there are also on the season book orders. In this case, there are 3 people from a specific town who orders a book from a different town, and the reward is included. So what I did is I wrote in the week names. I have put in extra details that I need to remember, because on the first week, the first 4 days, I can't travel because everything's too frozen to travel by boat. So that's something that I need to remember. And there's also a weather event. So when there is a warm weather, 3 options that might be warm, and because they are a bit rare compared to the 13 options, 14? 13. Yeah, the 13 options. So then you can fill it in. When they all are filled, an event will happen. So in this case, the next night, a large swarm of shimmering luminescent insects swim through the waters and turn the river turquoise. I need to look that up for a night. Turquoise. I never pronounced that word before. It's so. I like this channel, doing this channel, because it really makes me reflect on what I never pronounced in my life before in English. So I also wrote down the orders of the books of this season. So it motivates me also to travel. I could have just sit in Thistledown. That's where I started. But now I'm more motivated to travel, to buy the books within the month, before the month finishes. Let me see. So I also printed this out so I can add details. So I drew a book to indicate that I have opened the bookshop. So 1 to 3 days been opened, and then I was traveling. It went a bit longer than I expected. You can also have a birthday. The birthday was calculated based on, you could pick a month and it has a description of the personality of your character, and you can pick one that suits your character, and then you can throw dice between 1 and 20. So I ended up on the 10th of Bloom. So I made a little heart with a B-day on. So let's actually start the game. You can see it's basically just black. So at first I tried highlighters, a bit of color, but now I just try to just use a pen and a ruler to keep it simple. So I have described the first day of Bloom. I arrived, and the first day also happens to be a festival, sort of, because it's the first day of the year. So the first day also happens to be a celebration of the new year, and the way the river animal folk are celebrating the new year, they will swim in the river, in the cold river, wash away your worries or wash away some thoughts, or it helps you to rinse off the last year. You cleanse yourself, and it's a fresh start. You can manifest, I guess, if you want to achieve something, if you have goals, basically like a new year, sort of. I also did in real life a dive, because that's also a tradition here for some people, and I tried it, girl. It's fun, but I don't want to do it again. But it's fun. The festival itself, you can pick and choose what happens. So they will give you a prompt for the holiday, and I chose one. I made a friend because they gave me a hot cocoa and we had a fun conversation together. So as you can tell, so I have started and introducing myself, or I arrived, and also I described what will happen in the season. So as if I'm writing for myself some details, as if this book doesn't exist. So it's short, it's very pretty short. It's simple, and this one is a bit longer because this is a day that the bookshop has finally opened. I was still figuring out how everything works. So, you know what? I will just show you both of these books because now I started writing it. Let me just put you on the side. So, a bit above. Yes, okay. So, this is basically the second day of Bloom, and I've written it in this day. It's a bit small. Yeah, a bit better. So the day starts and you get 100 coins and 500 bucks max. You can upgrade it to 600 later on, but this is what you have right now. And I will put in the details in this, and then I will write down in this. Basically, you first start up with I decided to move my belongings, make up my bed, and do a first cup of tea. Then I did the weather. So basically, the way you do the weather is you grab some cards and you pick a card, and then I will write down 5 and then this. I don't need to add that detail because it doesn't matter for some, but I do it anyways just to get a whole picture of what I've pulled. The weather is basically cold with a steady rain, and another card for if it's in the morning or in afternoon or evening or all day, and I will put another card, so and it's in the morning. You also get to see how many people will be there, so a forecast of the amount of customers you'll get. Since it's only in the morning, I had to pull another card, and that will be automatic for the rest of the day. It's also a 4, but a different card. So it was steady and 4 people should be coming at that part of the day, but I also had to do a daily task, and I threw a d20 and I got an 11, and the clock stops. It opens the shop late. It sets them up on time. I should set them up on time, but because I woke up late, half of the customers and total earnings will be halved. So instead of eight people, it's now 4 all day. So it's a bit slow day right now. What a way to start your first day, by the way. The customers. So I also have a customers. I also have a prompts for to pull customers. So let me see. Is it here? No, I went too far. So this is not seasonal based, but it's a lot of options. So this is only for hearts, this is only for spades, etc. It's good that it's not seasonal based, because if you get a similar card in the future, then you can decide if it's someone who is reappearing or a different person that has a similar character. And you can end up making friends if you have a customer that keeps reappearing. You can have hearts filled and you can get benefits from that. Maybe they will give you gifts or tips or something like that. So at the beginning, I just pull up cards, and since I only had 4, I just pull up 4. You will get. You also need to pull. I guess you have the option to. You can also pull a genre a book, so you can recommend them that, and they can decide whether they like it or not, and whether it suits the character, that the personality of the card you have pulled, of the customer. So what I described here is basically what type of animal they are. Let me see. Let me show you again. So for example, diamonds. If you have a diamonds A, it's a sad animal, and I write down that, just the bold title. And then if I were to write in here, I can just go back and just see the description and see what I should write down. But this is just, Animal with a Large Back and comic graphic novel. I wrote down the dice, what I've picked by throwing the dice, and the genre. Then there is also an extra customer table, and there's a reference card, just make it easier for myself. But if you pull 1 to 10, you don't get extra cards. If you pull it, etc., you get more cards as you go. So it's like a customer that comes in at the very last moment. Until now, I still don't have extra customer cards. Bad luck, I guess. And then I've written down the total earnings. Total earnings is D6, then 6, and it's showed on the table in the book on Bloom. $34 coins. Am I confused? D6. 68. Wait, 68. I chose 6. I got 68 coins, but I need to have it because of my daily task, because I was late. So I got 34 coins instead. And then I counted how many coins I had in total. So 100 plus the 34 coins is 134 coins. And the book sold is also randomized by here, a bit sort of randomized. Yeah, the book sold, yes. So that's basically 30 books because I drew 4, yes. And then I have 500 books, and then the book sold is 30, so it's 470 books I have left now. I also have total customers. The total customers is a bit different. So the cards, when you have a non-royalty card, is plus 10, and royalty cards plus 20. So I had one royalty card, so that's plus 20, and I think I've done something wrong here. I'm a bit confused. So let's just, okay, I have plus 20 for a royalty card, yes, and that's basically 20, and then 1, 2, 3, 10 customers, 10 non-royalty, so that's 3 times 10, that's 30. Okay, so that makes sense. So 30 is the non-royalty card and 120 is the royalty card, and then the amount of cards that I was allowed to pull, because I actually have 8, but I need to have it, so I have 54 customers. I'm not sure what the amount of customers really does for me. I don't see a sense of progress. The main focus is more of the earnings and the books sold, because if the books are, if you don't have enough books to sell, you get in trouble. If you don't have enough money, you get in trouble as well. But you can, if you have books, you can trade a book for a coin, I think. I'm not sure how much. So I've written down my first day. I've moved my belongings, get in the world a bit. And then I realized I was just chilling with my mug that the bookstore has left. So I did use the reference, a description is put in here. So as I was chilling, I was enjoying the weather, and then I realized that the clock isn't working. So I had to hurry up, and I lost some customers. So that's I think it's a fun way to start my journey. I described the customers, but what I realized is that I should either write down as much as I want to, or limit myself to a few customers. And if I find it interesting enough when they reappear, I might add context like, oh, I met them before, etc. Because my goal is to keep 1 day per page. And I limit myself just for my hands, because I'm unable to write a lot. And it's also fun to really focus on the important parts of things that grabs my attention the most, instead of just writing for the sake of it. it's fun because I can just see at a glance what's happening, what's fun, and what's happening that day specifically. Then it's the third day of Bloom. I won't go into the details of that, but it's a bit more simpler for me because as soon as I decided that I just wanted to pick and choose, it helped me to figure out how to fit everything in one page. Let's see, it's a calm day and it's only 4 customers. So I have written down, let's see, I think 2, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I only picked 2 because my daily task was I decided to make decorations. I was making a mess and customers were looking at me. A few young people, young animals were helping me. And I also had a trio of young cops or kids. So, what if I combine this customer card with the daily task? So, it's fun because now it aligns together, it suits together. It's not daily task and then this and then that and then this. So, it's more cohesive, it's more part of the story. The young kids were pretty chill and they were sweet, and then the opposite side was a chatty customer. They talk a lot, like add a lot of detail. They, if you are friends with them, they might share some gossip with you. So I want to be friends with this one. So I written on this person down, and then at the end I let more space because it was a bit cramped. But I put in the task with the check mark as if I had my own daily tasks in real life, and then I made a check mark. So the customer total, the earnings, and the book sold, it's all written down. The 4th day of Bloom, let me see. Okay, that's a day off. So I had the coins and the books, and I decided, because it's a thunderstorm and it's a snail pace, so there won't be a lot of people visiting. So I decided to do something else. As I told you before, there are some orders, book orders per month, season, same old. Because there are some orders, I assumed that every town has a book that is beneficial for the other seasons with different customers. So I decided to preemptively buy a book when I'm in the town, when I'm in a new town. So this book is not based on the order right now, but I already have them. And it's called New Leaf, Starting Afresh. And New Leaf, it reminds me of the game Animal Crossing New Leaf. So I decided to make the leaf that's very common in Animal Crossing series. So that's one task that I did. And in town there are also 1 or 2 town folk that you can interact with if you have a day off. So that's what I did. They have written down people you can meet. So this is not seasonal based. It's more of the where you are, which town you are in. So this, I'm now in Thistledown, and the descriptions, so I can just, whenever day off, I could visit the Thistledown School, or the Ancient Library of Wonderment and Wisdom, or the Lavish Theater. And there are specific traditions and seasonal changes, and basically it depends on the season, but a bit of world building of the town itself. And the town folk are here. You have Mia, a weasel, and Vaughn, a turtle. And the descriptions are very easy to understand, and I used Vaughn right now and to meet him. What I did was buy the book. So here's a special book, New Leaf. But as I mentioned before, so I lost 34 coins. The Thistledown shops are here, so you can see what you can buy and what it costs to post, and more details if you send mail. Sending mail can be beneficial to, if you have friends, to send them something, or cook a meal and send them something, or you can also receive at some point when the hearts are a bit more full. I also bought caramel sweet bun, and it's 3 coins and a pack of 2, so I also lost 3 coins. And what I did was, because this character, Vaughn, and Vaughn the turtle is an unhappy fellow. They are pretty much the most negative as possible. If there's any positive thing, they will ignore it. So what I did was they sat next to me because it was raining, was thunderstorms. Because the caramel sweet buns was a pack of two. After listening to them, to their woes about the weather and that it will never clear up, I just decided to give one of my buns to them. And they were quiet and we both enjoy the weather together. And I think it's a fun way to bond. So I applied the shop going out with the character, the town folk that I've met. And I'm sure that if I go to this town again, I might meet them again. And maybe they might be a bit more, tad more positive. Maybe. There's a lot of potential for a character arc. So the 5th day of Bloom, the store has been opened again and I can travel again. So the ice has been melted so I can start again. It was a rare sunny day and it was extremely busy. So I could pull 14 customers because I pulled an extremely busy day and an extremely busy day again for the rest of the day. So I got 14 customers and that's when I realized that I really need to pick and choose if I want to, move on to the days. If I don't, you can just write on everything if you want to. But first of all, they really emphasize that it's a forecast. It doesn't need to be that way. And I feel like if it's my own journal, I would have written things that would notice me the most instead of writing down every single detail of every single customer that appears. So, but what I did was I had a daily task, but with the customers, I just written down the cards all the 14 cards. So first I picked the half of them, and I've written down what I can pick and choose, and I also threw the dice for the books that I can recommend them. And the rest of the cards I still wrote them down because of the total customers. With the total customers, I can see which are the royal cards and which aren't ones, and then I can count. And also, if I were to pick the card again, I can reference that one. Like I've never written about them, but they appeared again, something like that. So I will know exactly what I've pulled every day. So I ended up having 400 books and no extra customers again, and the total customers was 184 that day. That's wild. And I got, let me see, total earnings 75 coins, so I have 214 coins right now. I said it's a 1 day here, but I'm not sure if that's true. But even if it isn't, so the 1 days that I've mentioned before, I filled it in because of this, but later on there will be another day that will be warm, so I left it at that bit because I might have be confused with sunny and warm because those are two different things, I guess. Which makes sense, but in my mind it wasn't at first. So then we go to the 6th day. It's traveling day, so I decided to go from Thistledown to Woost. Thistledown, I skipped Woolberry and went to Woost. I regret going to Woost immediately instead of Woolberry first, but I don't need to buy a special book. So I rather go to the towns where I need the books before the season ends. I traveled and it's from Thistledown to Woolberry is 1 day, and then from Woolberry to Woost is 2 days, so it's 3 days with travel. But I've written down 6th to 9th, so 6th, 7th, 8th is 3 days, but I also had a daily task, and it's not a daily task, it's more of there are more prompts that I haven't told you yet. Oh, here are the book genres. Example, the customer table. It's here are the book genres and the extra customer table, by the way. But at the end, at the end of the book there's also a reference card. But either way, with traveling, there's a different section, but when they will explain how it works when you cannot travel, several details. But there are also prompts. You can answer one question, and when you arrive, there are different seasons where you can do different things. So it's bloom right now, so I can roll d6 and pick based on what I've shown. So even when I travel, I can add more lore. I could have just I traveled and then I opened a shop, but it's more of a it's more of an experience, the travel itself. So that's fun as well. I like the options. So the 9th day, I basically did the prompt, and when I arrived, I pulled. What have I pulled? A d6 on Bloom. So the wharf is currently being repaired due to a collision. You'll need to wait a day on the river before you can dock. So I had an extra day of waiting. So my capybara is a bit upset here. So that's a bit funny. My stickers really suits the journal so well. I could have used washi tapes and other stuff and more drawings, but this is really easy and accessible for me. Basically, I described how Woest was because, you know, when you travel, each city has their own lore, what you can do and what the traditions are. And in Woest, people tend to gather around this season and in another season and just hang around and gossip and share news with each other and such. So I described that, and I also described the prompts that I got, so I was waiting. But on the same day, I decided, let's go fishing, because that's a mechanic that I haven't used yet. With fishing, I was able to have fun because it's really cute way of handling it. Where's my other joker? I lost it, but it's fine. I've learned how to fish. You draw cards, and one card is 1 hour. And when I should keep going until I get a royal card, royal card, yeah. If you were to fish when it's in the afternoon, you know, when it's a calm day or in between, you have to be mindful of how many hours you are spending. So be mindful of that. So I got one royal card and it's red. But I need to keep going. This has been... Oh, there's another royal card. It's in different color. So when you have 2 black ones, you catch something, but it will escape. But if you have 2 red royal cards, they will be caught. So that's basically it. I could continue, and then I could basically describe how many hours I've been spending. If I were to do this session, I would have given up because that's way too many hours. There's not enough hours in a day to complete this. But you get the gist. So with my session, I basically had I written down every card, but when it's a royal, I wrote down which color it was, and the rest were just the 2 diamonds. Very simple situation. And I got 2 black ones, so the fish slipped away after 3 hours. Then I was using my cards. It was a lot of hours. It went to 6 hours before I caught something. And when I catch a fish, I can choose which fish I want to have. Which page? 204. It describes which season it can be caught. It can be found in a specific warmth or I'm not sure, but yeah, sometimes it depends on the weather a bit. Either way, this was a warm day, so I caught a blue suncatcher that can be caught during bloom, and it's the description. So I caught a fish. Then for the last day, it happens to be my birthday. As I showed you before, it's my B-day. here. Also, the previous day was a warm day, so I might so it's filled in anyway. So even if I made a mistake, it's fine. Oh, this is my pencil board, my one-piece pencil board, also from Hobonichi. I picked an A5 one because it's the half of A6 one. It's a half of A5, and it fits the landscape version. So I written down my birthday. So this book doesn't, it helps you finding out what your birthday is, but they didn't explain to you what you should do on your birthday. So because it's also partly because you have to decide what you want to do on that day, on your day offs anyways, if you wanted to have day off. So I could have opened the shop, but I decided not to. So instead of writing the lore, I decided to turn it into creative writing, which is not my purpose in this playthrough. This is a gameplay, this is gameplay. And I only am writing down extra context of my playthrough. So what I decided to do was I've written down a lot for day off because this was also day off, and I've written down less than here. I basically decided that you can receive presents, so I decided to have a friend and my mom. I used the item reference as a way to figure out what my present will be. So you have useful items, you have maintenance for your boat, because the daily task can also break your boats in some way and you need to repair it. Fortunately, I didn't have the chance to get that daily task yet, so that's great for me. But you have maintenance items, you have food items because you can cook and make for your friends. I just picked some useful items. I'm not sure what this all means. I do remember seeing this one, the bullwash jacket, and that can help me during the colder months, the colder seasons. For I don't know the details. I just picked something like I think I picked the plant pot and the bug off spray from the maintenance. I'm not sure what it does. I'm assuming that the bug off spray might help on the warmer days. So I picked those. Then I pulled the weather table, and then I decided to buy a book because that's my goal to begin with. To when I got to Woest, the town, and I bought a book that is in the order. Someone has ordered this. If I can find it, here, they have ordered The Breeze in the Brambles, and they live in Arborea. I should have gone to Arborea anyways. I made a mistake. I should have gone there and then go to Woest or something, but I guess I decided not to. But I can do it in the future. But either way, I have bought a book from Woest and I need to go to Arborea to give them a book, or I can send the book. But that also costs money, and I need to go there anyway, so that doesn't matter to me. Either way, so I ordered that book. I also decided to buy candles because I saw it's on the useful items. I'm not sure what it does. And I decided to meet the townsfolk of that place, of Woest. Someone called Mary. They are a heron bird, and they are mythical. They speak in a calm voice. They use tarot cards. So I have picked my tarot cards and basically written down which tarot cards they've used, turned it into a story that might be relevant to me and might not be. But accidentally I added extra lore about the person, about my character themselves. It's fun because this character, they also bought candles because I bought candles and they also need candles often. People who are into tarot cards tend to buy candles as well. I'm not speaking from experience or anything, just I buy a lot of candles. So that's fun to implement tarot cards into a game that's not meant to be. It's just not, these cards. It wasn't meant to be tarot, so it's fun. Either way, then there's also a thing that it's common in Woest, and that's a communal communal fire. Every day, I think, yeah, every day they put on a fire, and on the evenings or during the day, people can listen to stories, songs, or news and gossip while enjoying the fire. You can cook there, you can keep your paws warm. It's a gleeful experience to have on your birthday. So what I did was basically written down what my presents were. Then I decided to complete the order, and then I met someone called Mary, and I have written down in a way that it's the tarot cards. I written down in a way that makes sense in few sentences. So I put in, they said my patience leads to perseverance, and my hard work can now be harvested. I might be trapped in my negative thoughts. However, I might be trapped in my negative thoughts, however, but as long as I don't overanalyze and nurture myself and others, it will be fine. It makes sense in a way. It's three cards. I combined them. It made sense to me. Then I was grateful for the reading, and I got invited by Mary to go to the communal fire. And then I was handed a cup of cocoa, and I was enjoying my birthday, and it was fun. So basically, what I did in general on my birthday is implementing and finding my own way how to implement this book into my day instead of just making up extra lore as I go. I wanted to talk a little bit about this book and this book, and technically I could have just used this book alone and just play the entire game this way. It's a bit faster. You can just throw dice, use your cards, and go at it, and you can add some extra detail if you want to. This one can be, I can even just do a few days ahead and then write down in here, so that I can just throw dice or go at it and then write down in here. So I can also do a few days and only write down the important ones. I can pick and choose. Does that mean that this book is less useful? No, it isn't, because first of all, this looks cute. This is fun because this is just data, and I have been able to make it more of a cohesive story. This also adds more context, or it adds more personality to characters, or I can even go ignore everything and just add my own lore, my own background story. If I want to, I can implement the book, but I don't need to. So let's zoom it out. So I can just implement my own story if I want to. I can add more context to a character or characters that I meet, and I won't be able to see every detail in here. So this does has a benefit. It's also clear to see what's going on, sort of, with the drawings and such. If I can make it easier for myself if I want to. I drew the book, so oh yeah, right, I have this in my inventory. So there are a few things that I wanted to do with this journey. First of all, I need to make a card and I need to write down what my inventory is. I also am planning to make more videos, not just about my playthrough necessarily, but more of what else I can implement to make my playing experience even richer than it already is. I barely was able to do any creative writing. It wasn't my plan to begin with, but I wasn't really able to, even if I wanted to, because there's so much things that I am writing. I can write based on this book, and based on the prompts. There's so much I can do and pick from. So much so that I had to hold in, and limit myself. So I have enough to do, but I can use different elements, so different mediums, or I can add more physical stuff like physical money, or like this little cat on my little body. It can be more fun. It doesn't add anything really, but it can make it more of an immersive experience. Let's make a screenshot material for the thumbnail. Let's see. So you do this. Let's see. This is fun. Basically this. um, do we have a thumbnail? Yeah, this is fine. So basically this is it, and I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you got a bit of inspiration of how I play the game, and maybe it works for you as well. You don't need to make drawings, you don't need to make it neatly. I sure did it. I made some mistakes, and I there are some things that I want to experiment as well. So I try to change a bit up. I might change some things up in the future, but I'm not sure yet. I hope this is also interesting, that you can see different ways of interacting with the game. Please buy the game. It's fun. It's fun. Only the PDF is also fine. I printed this out by a professional because I like to be completely offline and I play. Sometimes I put up a podcast and just write down, everything, and then put on some music and then write a journal. It's fun. So yeah, I think this is enough. My other videos will be out. I will be. It will be. It will come quicker unless I'm a bit sick, but we'll see about that. Right, body, please give me a bit of space to make videos. Thank you. Well, overall, here's a small review about of this playthrough. I enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed myself. It was calming. It was cute. I think having a mascot like a capybara is fun because there are a lot of stickers available, a lot of references to take, and it's fun to have an animal folk. I also enjoyed the prompts and the type of prompts that I'm getting, and I really enjoy the customers and the day offs. I like the mechanics of the traveling and how you can fish. I think it's a fun addition. Let's see, are there some things that I wanted to change? I'm not sure yet, but maybe I might talk about it later on, because even after 10 days, I wasn't able to do everything in its glory because, for example, I haven't done the prompts that might need some repairs of my boat. So I didn't have a lot of fighting against me, not a lot of friction in my story. But not gonna lie, I don't mind not having any friction. But that's stuff I keep repeating to myself, but I don't mind it. But I don't mind a little bit of challenge. So this is the recipes, and I haven't done this yet because I don't have a lot of ingredients yet. So I sometimes buy an ingredient once in a while, or I at least have a fish, a fresh fish. For example, so what I can do is save up some ingredients and then make some dishes. I like to make all dishes one day. It sounds like fun. Let me see. I also haven't done I haven't done customer the customer profile because I haven't met anyone twice, just once. And when you first meet someone, it's a bit I'm not sure. But I've mentioned that I was interested in someone, Chatterbox, I think, and the children were also very fun, and they might talk to me about their adventures and the things they might want to learn and such. So there's a lot of bonding there. But my stomach is making a noise, and that says to me that it's time to eat. But I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope this is interesting, and please read the playthrough yourself so that you can simply figure out whether I am right or not. I tried my best to understand the game mechanics before I decided to make more changes to make the game more richer. I enjoyed myself. I hope you will too. Ooh. There's so much hair of my cats, and and it's always hair on my in my books, and I keep. If you see me wiping throughout the video, like what are they doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so sorry. There's always hair everywhere. But I enjoyed myself. I hope you. I already said that. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.